Hey, this is Heidi.
And I'm Stefan.
And this is Ice Cream Parlor, the podcast.
Yes, it's the podcast where we watch horror movies and we talk about them.
As fans, not as experts.
Yeah.
We're not going to memorize all that bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, we are fans. That's what we are, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's what we do. We talk about horror movies on this podcast. We like to break them down. We like to just give our point of view. Sometimes we like them, sometimes we don't, right?
That's right.
Yep.
And also, there's going to be like hella spoilers.
Yes.
So if you haven't seen this movie yet, you should have thought of that before you hit play.
Yeah. You should go watch the movie first and then join in on the conversation.
Alternately, what they can do is if they're scared of scary movies and they still want to be like the cool kids, they can just listen to this and get all the details.
All the details.
Is that what kids say now? Get all the deets?
Get all the deets? I don't know. Is that what the cool kids are saying?
I don't know.
All the tryhards in the world? But yeah, you can get all the details, all the juicy info, and then you can go tell all your friends about it and act like that you watched the movie.
Yeah, the 2003 movie High Tension, which is the movie we're doing this today.
2003, High Tension.
High Tension.
This movie is the first movie that we ever watched together.
Absolutely.
When we both found out that we loved horror movies.
That's right.
Yes.
So High Tension, I don't remember who it introduced. You know what? High Tension was a movie that I found at Amoeba, just digging through the bins.
Oh, that's the place to do it. I mean,
yeah,
they usually have a lot of rare finds there.
Yeah, well, this one, the one that I have is the French uncut version. I know that for this, because we kind of watched it half at work, half whatever, we watched it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Which was dubbed for some reason.
Yeah, this time around we watched it on Amazon Prime. I don't know why. It was just easier than pulling out the movie off the shelf and putting it in the PlayStation, I guess.
Whatever.
Is that what we've become nowadays?
Lazy shit.
We're so lazy we don't even want to take the movie off the shelf. But yeah, it was strange because when I first pressed play, I was like, isn't this supposed to be in French? It was like subtitled. Well, we always have the subtitles on for whatever reason, but it was subtitled. Well, no, I'm saying it was English dubbed, but I don't know. It was strange. It was because sometimes these movies are best watching it in the original dialogue and then reading the subtitles.
Right. So I actually enjoyed it more watching it just in French because you can't look away from the screen if you have to read the subtitles. And then you get really lost into the movie and you're just so focused and suddenly somebody comes in and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's it does make you pay attention a little bit more and you can't drift off because you're going to have to read what's going on. And there's a lot of great horror movies that are exactly like that. A lot of Korean films, and the French actually have quite a lot of them as well too. I don't know.
A lot of movies? Yes,
no,
they have a whole
I'm talking about horror movies, and especially real like nitty gritty ones like this movie.
And Martyrs?
Yeah, Martyrs. Yes, that's the one that this movie reminded me of, and that's when I told you, well, we're going to have to watch Martyrs.
They're within the same vein. Main vein.
They are. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities to a certain degree between the two. I still like Martyrs more.
Martyrs is a really good movie.
Yeah.
I also like High Tension though.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I like one versus the other, but High Tension is one of those movies that you can only watch once and still be shocked. It still has parts where you're like, oh shit, I forgot that was there. Or oh shit, I forgot that was there. But once you know the plot twist and where the movie goes and then who does what to whom, you're kind of like stuck knowing that. You can't unknow it.
Yeah.
You can't even forget about this movie because this movie takes you through its entire cycle and you're just like, your heart is pumping and your blood is getting hot and you're like, what the fuck? What's happening next? What's happening next? The first time I saw this movie, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, this is my second time watching it because we watched it the first time once and I forgot about most of the movie. I actually didn't even remember the plot twist and all that. And I enjoyed watching it again this time. But I also felt like this time around I was a little bit more critical, and I was catching some loopholes that we'll get into later on. But it's a great movie. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it? It's a little synopsis
I
or
don't think I have a synopsis ready, but
oh yeah.
what the movie actually is, it's two girls, two college, I guess, roommates,
Mm-hmm.
or two college friends, are heading to a farmhouse owned by the family of one of the girls,
Right.
Alexia, and their plan is to stay there. They call her Alex. Her name is Alexia,
Oh really? Okay,
and they
gotcha.
go there with the intention of planning of studying for their finals or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it's remote, it's isolated. There isn't any trouble they can get into.
Right.
And then what happens when evil comes to
Yes.
the farm?
So I just brought up the synopsis from IMDb, and you're right. It says best friends Marie and Alexia decide to spend a quiet weekend at Alexia's parents' secluded farmhouse, but on the night of their arrival, the girls' idyllic getaway turns into an endless night of horror.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, I know. I just was reading it, and I did find it. So, were they only calling her Alex in this one because of the dub, or did they call her Alex in the French one?
I think that's just short.
Alexia, Alex, yeah. Either way, so yeah, this movie, it's one of those also that it kind of like gets into it pretty quickly. There's not a whole lot of like setup.
It gets into it like the second scene.
Right, I know, yeah. Which, by the way, this is where my questions start coming in, and I don't want to ruin it for everyone yet. But
Well, I have a response to that already. So,
okay, great. Is there anything else we want to talk about the movie? Well, first of all, like we always
How the hell
do,
are
how
you?
the hell have you been? It's like we see each other so much sometimes that we already know what's going on.
Don't fucking look at me.
But what's new since our last episode with
My buddy.
Buddy? Yeah, which was a great episode.
It was a really good episode. Yeah, a lot of
yeah.
good feedback.
Mhm.
So I'm actually excited to try to get more people on because it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, and it was our second video episode now.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
it's been great to see some of the feedback on YouTube, and you know,
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
yeah, it was a lot of fun for me too because I did all the video editing, and this was the first time getting into a project like that. And it was no, Halloween was the first one, and this was the second one. But both of those were the first time I had ever really delved in doing podcast editing, and this alien episode was quite long, so it did take a little time on my end to go sifting through 2.5 hours worth of footage.
Well, we're just blabbermouths. Like, I know Buddy and I, we get to talking, and it's like, shut the fuck
Mhm.
up, one or the other, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it was fun. We had a good, a good time with him, and I feel like we might be able to have him back on for another movie later on in the future sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't think there's been anything new. I mean, I had, I don't know. I
Well,
can't think of anything.
yeah. I mean, well, it's almost
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
you know what?
What?
We went to go see Jack and the Swamp Rats.
Drac and the Swamp Rats? I thought you said Jack. Did you say
Who
Jack?
the fuck is Jack?
That's what I'm saying. Who's Jack and the Swamp Rat? Yeah, no, we went and saw Drac and the Swamp Rats, and we also saw Reagan and Watkins and
the
the
Baby
Baby Boys,
Boys.
all of which we were introduced to via Kill Tony. Name drop, which is where we might have been tonight if we didn't have our own podcast to be recording.
Yeah, so the only reason we're here tonight on the Monday before Thanksgiving instead of at Kill Tony is we don't want to record on fucking Thanksgiving.
No, but I'll be editing on Thanksgiving probably.
Yes, you will.
Instead of watching football.
I don't know. I don't know anything about football.
I'm
I
not-
know that guys go this way and guys go this way, kind of like soccer, except they don't use manners and say
Yeah.
excuse me. They
There's-
just bump.
There's that one song that always comes on that has a football reference about the
That's bartender.
Oh, it's the
That's-
bartender song from Head PE. Yeah, that's where they always talk about the quarterback
yeah,
and
and
the.
I'm like singing along, and I'm like, I don't know football.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I grew up with sports, but I didn't. I don't know something. I don't know. Hate me all you want, but I'm not a big sports fan.
I don't
These
think
days.
anybody would hate you
Oh,
for
trust me,
that.
all the dudes who love sports would be like, "Fucking pussy, you don't love sports. Fuck you."
You are what you eat.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that. But
Look,
sports are fun when you go see them live. I'll admit that. But I've just lost
mm-hmm.
interest in them. I used to play all sports pretty much when I was younger. Just not really like in a league per se, but
For fun.
for fun. Yeah, I played all sports.
I grew up in a sports household too. Like my brother played baseball, which means that we were always at baseball games.
Mhm.
And then my stepdad would like, watch football games, but football games, not football games. So it was soccer.
Gotcha. Yeah, with
The game
me,
you play with your foots.
the foot. Yeah. For me, I actually, technically was born in New England, so by default, I should be a hardcore Patriots, Celtics, Bruins fan, fucking New England over here. But, I don't know. Then I moved to Florida, and I was like,
The magic.
yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I was there during the Shaq days when he first came out.
I remember the Shaq days.
Yeah, so
But then I was always, I'm LA native, of course. So I was the Lakers and
yeah,
the Dodgers, and now the LA Galaxy, the LA motherfucking
the LA
Galaxy.
Galaxy that your boy just left the team.
Shut the fuck up!
What happened? We don't even know what happened, right?
No, but that majestic lion is now gone, and
Gone.
I'm so sad.
It'd be funny to see him on the what's the other LA team? The LA. It's
The LA
Galaxy.
Funky Cunts.
Oh, is that what? Football club. Is that what it is?
Yes.
LAFC. Yeah. Everybody would be like traitor.
I think there would be a riot in the brown side of the streets. Yeah, I mean, I love taking my kids to Dodger games and to Galaxy games, but or Galaxy matches, excuse me. But we're part of the Angel City Brigade too, so we really get into it, which is the cheering section.
I like drinking Angel City beer. Go local breweries.
Well, you know what? I've taken them to Kings games, and that's pretty cool too. But it gets too fucking cold.
Oh, because it's the ice.
Because it's
in the
ice
rink?
hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And then
that's why you gotta
I've
bundle up.
never gone to go see a basketball game
Really?
ever.
It's fun. I mean, again, like you can complain all you want. You could say basketball players are the biggest pussies, and they act out everything, and they're like, "Oh, I got hurt, I got fouled."
Like
I'm on the
soccer
ground."
players?
Yeah, soccer players do the same thing. But I mean, it's fun. A thing I like about basketball or whatever is that it's got a lot of action. So it's not. I mean, sometimes I get bored when you go through a whole, full 90 minutes of a game and it's only like 1-0 or 2-1. Like, Jesus Christ, score a fucking goal already. Basketball, at least you're going to have points. And unless somebody's like whooping somebody's ass, it could kind of be anybody's game up until the fourth quarter. If you're within 10 points and there's 10 minutes left, it could go either way.
When was it? We went to Flights last week,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a basketball game.
Oh, I don't even remember. I just remember those yummy nachos. Those carne asada nachos. That shit was
Hey,
good.
good practice on your accent.
Hey, I'm good at accents. What are you talking about?
I'm not. I'm good at eating those fucking nachos though. But there was a game, and then there was a team suddenly up by 10. You're like, what the hell's going on?
See, I don't even remember that.
You don't pay attention.
Not to the game.
I mean, they have a big ass TV on every wall there. Like, what am I supposed to do? Not pay attention to it? Pay attention to you while you're talking? Come on now.
Yeah, I know. What was I doing? Paying attention to you? No, but anyways, we're going off on a sports tangent, so it's like this is a sports podcast all of a sudden.
Sports.
Yeah.
Testosterone.
But yeah, either way, I had a hangnail.
Gross. Can you
I'm sorry, it just was
groom
bothering
yourself
me.
elsewhere?
So yes, but I mean, it was. Anyways, that's what we're
That's
we're
the
not-
newest thing.
Yeah, that's all. Oh, I said that because it's going to be Thanksgiving. Do you have any plans for Thanksgiving? What do you do?
Um, so last year was my first Thanksgiving not cooking at my mom's house, well, not having it with my mom and my family. It was just,
Are you like a typical turkey person?
no, not really. But last year I made a turkey and it was in our freezer up until maybe a few months ago because it was the turkey was bigger than an infant. This year I got a considerably smaller turkey, but now that I'm looking at it in my fridge defrosting, it's still fucking huge.
Sorry, I'm just adjusting a few levels here. I'm noticing that my voice seems to be way lower than yours.
That's just the norm.
Yeah, it is. I tend to, you know what it is I save all that energy for like the songs that I do because they're so explosive and all over the place that I don't want to blow out my vocal cords talking about bullshit.
Is that what you call a shameless plug and also fuck you bullshit?
No, shameless plug. I didn't even tell anybody what the band was called.
You mean you didn't tell anybody that it was DTI?
No, what does DTI stand for? Shh, don't tell anybody. No, I'm just kidding. Defy the ignorant, right? The secret's out of the bag. 5 years later.
Stupid.
Yeah, no, yeah. So, let's see. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else new?
Well, what do you do? I know that your mom sent me banana bread recipe and apple pie recipe
Well,
and hard sauce recipe
what do you
and
call it? Just kidding. No, I mean, like I said, I'm from fucking New England.
So I'm making all of
originally
those.
born from New England, so it's all about the cranberry sauce and the pies, and
I
it's all
completely
about
forgot about cranberry
the
sauce.
turkeys and the stuffing and
I have
everything.
nothing for cranberry sauce.
Well, we're in Cali. We can do avocados instead.
Avocado sauce. It's called guacamole.
But yeah, we did a very traditional, Thanksgiving kind of thing because we're from Plymouth Rock. That's where,
You're not from Plymouth Rock.
Look, I was born around the area. I got family still living over there. I can still go visit if I want to, but I just chose to move out west, like all the best.
Plymouth Rock was always there. Y'all just happened to land there.
Well, they landed on it by moving west. And I just decided to keep moving west until I got to the west coast where there's nowhere else to go.
First you invaded my country, now you're invading my city.
What can I say?
Or half of you is anyway.
Yeah, half of me is. Yeah, the other half is just trying to get a job.
Stop taking our jobs. Okay. So, unless anything else is new, I mean, we're really just doing our thing here.
Yeah. I mean, nothing else is really majorly new at the moment. I mean, it's a good time of year though. The weather's cooled down.
Mm-hmm.
The holidays are here, so we've got Thanksgiving and then Christmas and New Year's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
That means days off from work, paid days off from work.
Check this out.
What?
You know how like 2 shows ago, I'm like, I think the Buddy Show, I'm like, I never got child support.
Yeah, you all of a sudden got some child support.
I have to go to Walmart and pick up $50.
Wow. Was that $25 a kid? So
anyway, speaking of support,
yes.
High Tension is a slasher film, and it's like in a very definite and finite definition of it. It slices and dices throughout.
Yeah. Yeah, with a fucking straight razor.
I know. Isn't that exciting?
Well, it's not that. Yeah, it's cool. It's not that intimidating. It's not like a giant Michael Myers style knife blade.
Okay, check this out. You see this? Wait, where is it?
You cut yourself with a straight razor?
No. I have a paper cut. And it was bugging me all freaking day. And those little small ones, here it is. You see that right there?
Yeah.
Those little small ones are the worst. I can't imagine. This was just with the paper. Can you imagine with the straight razor? You think you're not going to be hurt if somebody gets a straight razor at you?
Well, yeah, of course. It's just, again, it's like doesn't have a lot of reach. You got to I don't know. Well, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of mafiosos that might have found their end by a straight razor. I think specifically in The Godfather, too. There was that one.
Too much TV.
We do a podcast about movies. I mean, all life right now is nothing but watching shit. I have to try to substitute.
I know something
Don't
happened.
hit the table if you don't mind. Sorry. No, don't do it.
I know something that happened.
What?
I watched Rocky for the first time ever.
You watched Rocky for the first time ever. A movie that came out in 1976. This basically shaped, so many children of
Society.
the 80s of America, people who lived through the 80s. It was a whole part of their generation. It was the thing that built Sylvester Stallone's career.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, you want to know a funny fun
Wait,
fact?
wait, wait.
Funny fun fact? Sylvester Stallone's mom takes music lessons at the store that I work at.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can you tell her I said hi?
And remember, we also saw, remember when we went to that movie, one of those Camp Void events?
Camp Void, Cinematic Void.
Camp Void. But I think I said that because it was a Camp Void night.
Okay.
But remember they were playing all those oldie commercials before the movie started? One of those was for like, for like doing fortune telling or palm reading or something like that. It was kind of funny.
Hey, did you ever watch Stop or My Mom Will Shoot?
Yes, but I don't really remember it. I get that one confused with like, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh, completely different. Stop or My Mom Will Shoot is Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
See, I don't even remember that.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead is Christina Applegate.
Christina Applegate, right. I think I remember that one more because it's, a chick instead of a dude.
Rocky, I hadn't ever seen before. I, of course, knew all the pop culture references.
Yeah,
right?
like Eye of the Tiger and all that kind of stuff.
But, like, spoiler alert, I didn't know that he lost the fight in the first movie.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he was so fucking beautiful. He was
really
gorgeous.
You got a thing for the Italian stallion now?
Absolutely not. But he was really, I can appreciate beauty. He was really pretty. Like, holy shit. Like that, like.
Before all the plastic surgery and shit?
Yeah, now he looks like a caricature of the Rocky self.
It's so sad how, these Hollywood people, like, they try to, like, hold on to their good looks and their youth and they get, go under the knife, especially back then. I mean, I know plastic surgery's gotten a little bit better now. I mean, there's some, like, people you can't even tell that they've gone through some transformation surgery. You got to be careful out in these LA streets.
Well,
but
it is really shocking to see like fresh faced Sylvester Stallone. He was just really pretty.
Yeah, like Mickey Rourke, he was another one too. Like he's done so much plastic surgery or whatever, like his face, their features just get stuck. I always feel like the people who do that, then they have to surround themselves by people who are like straight liars because they're just gonna be like, "Oh, you look great," and but it doesn't look great.
Here's the thing: what if you get your face fucked up with plastic surgery, right? And then, what you want people to constantly tell you look like shit, or are you gonna surround yourself by people who are like, "You're beautiful anyway"?
Right, but the thing is, those people they're just lying to people's faces. I mean, don't tell them that they look like shit, but I mean, I don't know. Look at me. I'm almost...
You look like shit.
I know, right?
Just kidding, you don't.
But I mean, I'm almost pushing 40 here, and I never had no plastic surgery. I think
you're gorgeous.
You just need to, like,
drink more beer.
Yeah, drink beer and drink water.
Here's science. Here's science for you.
I almost allegedly admitted to
actually drinking water.
No. Substance abuse, but no. Allegedly.
Allegedly, we've already said it like multiple times.
No, what are you talking
Allegedly.
about? I just have a.
Well, here's the thing: you drink water.
Herbs.
You drink water so that you stay hydrated, and then you drink lots of alcohol so your face stays nice and puffy and fills in the wrinkles.
Right. Yeah.
That's what you do.
I guess. Either way, it is sad to see how so many people have, like, their faces have changed over time, and and I do feel bad for some of the people that aren't famous who just had a little bit of money to go to, like, the cheapo doctors in the valley, and now all of a sudden they're like stuck with, like,
What about, like, all those stories you hear about butt implants and, like, people who get, like, cement and stuff in there?
Yeah. No, it's getting pretty bad. It's getting pretty bad. Yeah. People need to just be more confident in who they are and how they are. That's
easier said than done, because the confidence is either in, like, it has to be instilled in you at a young age, and then it has to be nourished, and then it has to be, it's like a flower. Then you have to water it every day. You have to, make sure that you're taking care of it. And if you have right from the bat, like right off the bat, like you're shit, you're shit, you're shit, you're shit, you're not going to unexpectedly just gain confidence. You're not going to suddenly feel like you can take on the world. I mean, you might wear that facade as a defense mechanism, but you really need to have that from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I didn't, and it took a lot of work to be able to at least be as confident enough, which I feel like I'm confident enough.
Yeah.
But
The
it was definitely not, instilled from the beginning.
No, I gotcha. I understand. But I don't know. We started talking about this topic because of Rocky. And, in the 80s, I feel like that one of the things that those movies like Rocky or the actors like Stallone and everybody from Bruce Lee to Chuck Norris, I mean, like they were physically fit and they were in great shape and their movies almost promoted it. Like Rocky, like watching that makes you want to hit the gym, and he was in like his prime.
Not me. It didn't make me want to hit the gym.
Well, he was in prime time shape and he got even better as the movies went along. By the time Rocky 4 came out, I mean, the guy was like a fucking
I haven't
tank.
seen 4 yet.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen 1 and 2 because I kind of tried to binge it. I saw the 4?
No,
Is it the one
5.
with his kid? I saw 5 and then I saw 1 and then I saw 2.
You saw the worst one, then went back and saw
It can only get better.
Yeah. But Rocky is a movie for another podcast. And I'm glad that you watched it just because it is a good classic
You know what
movie.
else I have to watch?
What?
Rambo.
Well, yeah.
No, I don't.
Well, first of all, the very first one's technically considered titled First Blood, not Rambo.
Is Bloodsport Van Damme?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about him. He was in great shape too.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
He was in you know that
Time Cop.
Yes, he was. and Street Fighter.
Yes.
Do you know that there's this clip, and maybe we'll find it and post it, that I always like torture my kids with because I play it and it's just electro rock. And what is the name of the movie?
It has something with Van
Breaking.
Damme in it.
Breaking.
Oh, Breaking.
Yeah, Breaking.
Yeah.
Van Damme is in that movie.
Really?
In a unitard.
The breakdancing movie?
In the background, like at Venice Beach.
Wow.
Yeah.
Never knew that. Never knew that.
Yeah. All right. So anyway,
yeah.
Let's take a quick break and then let's get into the movie.
Yeah. High
Tension 2003.
Do you know how to say high tension in French?
In French?
French.
You said French.
French. Well, because you speak a little en français, don't you?
How?
Qu'est-ce que c'est? S'il vous plaît.
Where is me mama?
Sacre bleu, where's me mama? How do you say I grew up without a mother in French? That's the line. Sopranos reference. Sacre bleu, where's me mama?
How do you say?
But you speak a little French, don't you?
Yeah,
a little
I
bit?
do.
Can you say hi?
Hi, like
No,
hello?
like high, like elevated, like high waisted.
I don't know, because high tension in French, in the French movies, it's called how something. I don't remember.
All right, anyways, I just thought maybe you knew.
Thanks, asshole.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go watch this movie, and we'll come back and break it down.
We'll be right back.
We will be right back after these messages. We'll be right back. You remember that from the 80s?
And we're back.
Yes, we are. Back again.
Am I supposed to follow that up with something? I'm sorry. I didn't make our 10 o'clock meeting.
I don't know. I thought it was going somewhere, and then it just like teetered off. So anyways, we're back. And
salt and pepper here, and we in effect want me to push it back. How about that? Is that good?
Sure. How's that wine you're drinking over there?
It's really good. You gonna try it?
I'll have some after I finish this beer, maybe, but go for it.
So if it's
liquor before beer,
liquor before wait.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Beer before liquor, you're gonna get sicker. Liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Beer before wine, you'll be just fine.
Sure.
I just made that one up.
All right. I'll take it.
Look at me, I'm a rapper.
All right.
I know you'll take it. Shit, I'm going to hold on to it. So, let's get into it.
Let's get into this movie. This movie is good. I like it.
You do? Okay, good. It's High Tension. It's from 2003, and it is a French slasher film. It is originally in French, but sometimes you can find the dubbed version. I don't recommend it. It's very distracting.
Yeah, we watched the dubbed version this time, and there was a lot of blop, 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 blop.
There was reggae in it, you're right.
There was, yeah. And the lyrics were awesome. The guy was like, "Ooh, girl, you're a stupid girl." I like those kind of songs.
So the movie was filmed in Romania, even though it's supposed to take place in France.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but because of the budget, as most things. And the farmhouse, that is where the journey begins, that farmhouse is actually a dilapidated house that they only fixed up just enough to film.
Yeah. I actually was confused because of the dubbed version. It was like some of the, like everybody but Alex or Alexia, whatever her name is speaking like in an English accent, like American accent. And I was like,
So
wait a
here's
minute,
what
where are these
happened.
guys supposed to be?
So here's what it is. Their family, so Alexa's family, just moved to France. And somewhere throughout the beginning of the movie, she says, they just moved here. Their French is worse than mine.
Oh,
so they're
okay.
actually not French.
Gotcha. You called it Alexa. I think it's Alexia, right?
Yeah,
I'm just going to call it Alex like they did.
Yeah,
in the movie.
we don't want to accidentally
all of a sudden
summon the
activate,
CIA.
yeah.
We don't want to summon the CIA. So, it is directed by Alexandre Aja.
Aha.
Aja.
Aha.
Well, in Spanish, AJA is Aja.
Oh, I see. Aja.
Aja.
Aha.
The Maharaja.
What's that band that?
Aja.
Yeah, what's that song they sing?
Take
Oh, it's that one. Yeah, that right. Yeah, the one with a really high-pitched falsetto.
Yeah, I can't do it.
All right.
It is inspired by a Dean Koontz novel, Intensity.
This movie was?
Yes.
That's really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, because we happen to be, yeah. Anyways, Dean Koontz, put a pin in that.
Secret stuff. And it's the director and one of the writers, I forgot the name of the other writer, they kind of built the story around it being an homage to the 70s and 80s horror films that they grew up with.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to say, and
you
we
can
will talk
see
about
it. You can see it.
Yeah, there is some of that. Like, there is like, I mean, again, we just watched Halloween and there's like a little bit of a Michael Myers kind of vibe. The guy wears like a, full like kind of like mechanic style suit.
But we'll get there.
Yeah.
All right. So the story follows Alex. Jesus. Fuck.
Alex and Marie.
Alex and Marie.
Marie.
Played by I can't even pronounce the names.
Two
French actresses. Yeah. So beautiful, both of them.
Are they though?
The brunette, the one who plays Alex. You know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of the beautiful actress that plays Butterfly in Death Proof.
Okay. The brunette is nice. I don't really have much of an issue with her. The other one though,
it's because she has a pixie cut, and you're not into girls with short hair.
Oh, right, because it's very foretelling of what happens in this movie later on.
Well,
because
shut up.
But yeah, the whole like I can't grab onto your head and like do anything with it. It's useless. What the hell is that for?
I'm calling your mother. But I thought she was cute. And she was so.
I'll tell you this.
She was so strong. Like even when she stood there, she was. Because she trained with some kind of fighter, some kind of like. I think it was a Thai boxer or something. She trained for this role, so she was fucking cut.
Yeah,
she was hot.
Maybe to you. To me, she needed a little bit more junk in the trunk.
Muy picante.
She had no butt, in my opinion, and she did have some nice boobs, but it was. No butt there.
You know what she had? You know what I'm a big fan of? Just gorgeous, gorgeous arms. like muscular, toned arms.
Yeah, no, I can do away with that. Just give me a nice big butt.
Okay. Now I know what you're getting for Christmas.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, whatever. They're
All right.
both pretty decent looking women.
Right. So, should we get into it?
Yeah, I thought that's what we're doing.
So, the movie starts like this.
Feet.
Feet. Dirty, bloody feet.
Disgusting feet.
Dangling over
I
a
don't
doctor's table, whatever the bed
Maybe.
is.
Yeah, you don't really see much. I just remember the 2 feet.
And somebody's rocking back and forth, and it's a blonde with a pixie cut, covered in scars.
You don't see all that though. You just see the feet.
You see her.
No, that's at the end when they really get back to show you that.
You see her hands. You see her feet. She's cut up, and she is repeating to herself, "I won't let anyone come between us anymore.
Right.
I won't let anyone come between us anymore." And she's repeating and repeating it. And then we cut to a scene where this girl is running through the woods, and as she's running, it's obvious that somebody's after her, and she's bloody and she's bleeding and she's cut, and she makes her way into the road and she stops a car.
Yeah.
And when she stops the car veers off the road, and she goes and tries to get help. The guy has trouble turning the car on, and suddenly the girl wakes up, and she's in the back seat of her girlfriend's car. Her girlfriend as in girl space friend, not girlfriend as in, good lovin'.
Right, yeah.
And it's a road trip. And the blonde is Marie, and Alex is the brunette. And they are driving to Alex's family's farm.
Yeah.
Which is way deep in the outskirts of town, way off in the outskirts of town. And we kind of just are briefly introduced to them. But when Marie is telling Alex the dream she just had, she says, "It was me running after me." And
right.
she says,
right. Yeah, she did say that.
And she says, "Why can't you ever have normal dreams?"
Right, yeah. She also demands a cigarette immediately as she wakes up. She's like, "Oh, I woke up. Cigarette."
She's French.
Cigarette.
She's French.
Yeah.
So cut to the farm, and there's Alex's mom and her brother and their dog, and they're just, outside, doing outside farm stuff. And then you kind of pan off to the side, and when you pan off to the side, there's
Oh, you're getting right into this part. Yeah, you don't
Jeepers Creepers looking fucking truck. It's rusted. It's like a brown ice cream truck, because it has that square shape, right? But it's rusted and beat up and terrifying looking. And some guy's in the front seat, and he's
oh yeah, he's getting some good
he's
head.
getting some good head, and that we know that because he drops the head out of the window.
Yes.
Because he was fucking
yes.
decapitated head, a dismembered head.
Yes. Now,
and that's how the movie starts.
Yeah. Now, as an opening, I like it. As we get into the movie further on and we start to understand what's going on, I go back to that scene and I'm like, well, then what the fuck was that? Who was that? What's happening there? Like,
I haven't resolved that.
Do you want to tell me about it?
Not yet. But that scene, when I first saw it, the first time I saw this movie, I was like, holy fuck. What the shit? It totally kind of just takes you to this other place, and you're like, I just saw a little boy playing with his puppy. What the hell are you showing me now?
He wasn't playing with a puppy. He was playing with a fucking Saint Bernard.
I know, but he's so cute, a little puppy.
Yeah, and it's a cool name. They call him Hendrix.
Hendrix.
Like Jimi Hendrix.
That's right.
Yeah. But yeah.
Because he sets guitars on fire.
So you see this guy getting head from a head, then he tosses the head out the window, and you're like,
so I have a question.
What the fuck? Yeah. What's the question?
This might get me banned.
From what?
From the internet.
Okay, go for it.
So is he fucking the mouth or the neck hole?
Ooh, that's pretty interesting because I didn't think about that. But
my question is because teeth. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, maybe. In my head, he was just fucking the mouth because that's how you do it when you get head. But you're right. It's like a severed head. So maybe there's no control.
And there's no moisture
Right,
because there's no saliva. And there's no
So you think he
tension.
turned the head upside down and was like in the whole the esophagus or something like that?
Maybe because I feel like that would most closely
Probably
resemble
feel
a
better.
vagina. I mean, I'm just thinking of it and scientifically,
Yeah.
it's moist. It has, a cervix size hole, right? And there's no teeth.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he was doing because I don't think many people thought that through. I think they want you to believe that he's getting head from a girl who's alive, and therefore, I mean, honestly, it could have been a guy getting head from another guy too. You never know. But like the way you see it,
But it's a severed woman's head that he throws off.
no, I know that when he throws it out, but I'm talking about when you see the first cut of that shot, you see him grunting and groaning, and you see like the top of the head.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is, at that moment, they're trying to
Just give you the illusion that
somebody's getting some natural, like just somebody's getting freak nasty on the side of the road.
Freak nasty?
Yeah.
Please elaborate.
I don't know. It just came. It just came out like that. But when you see him dump the head, that's when you're like, "Holy shit, we've got some psychopath here." But before that, they're just wanting you to think that there's some creep getting head. And so
Right.
I think that they wrote it as if
true.
he was...
The creep was getting head.
Yes. But I think they wrote it as if he was getting head through the mouth, like normal
Gotcha.
style.
All right. So was it weird that I asked that?
No, I mean, actually, I didn't even fathom that fact before. Now, all I can think about is
I like
reverse
my
deep throat.
head on my neck.
It's reverse deep throat. Like from
deep mouth, because
Yeah,
you'd
but-
go the other way because it wouldn't go into the throat.
No,
it would
he's
go
going up
the
for the
throat,
throat.
into the mouth.
right,
Right.
reverse. That's what I said.
I said deep mouth. Whatever.
Deep mouth. Either way, that's where the movie says, guess what? We're not going to
Guess
let
what?
you...
This movie's fucked
Yeah,
up.
we're not going to like drag you on for an hour before we show you some crazy shit. This is going to get into it fast. That's how they're saying right there.
So the girls cruise in after dark,
Mhm.
and they're driving in to the farm through a huge
Fucking
cornfield.
yeah.
Children of the Corn, anybody? Jeepers Creepers, anybody? Did Jeepers Creeper come out before or after this? Because it was very much reminded me of Jeepers Creepers in many ways.
Because I get it. The van, but then also the driving sequences and things like that, maybe, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember when movies come out. I think that's part of the reason why we always put the year in the movie title.
All right. So, when the girls get to the farm,
She plays no, wait, before she gets to the farm, let's just tell them about this little trick that
You
she
tell 'em.
plays. Okay, fine. She fucking Alex pulls over and is like, oh, wait, I think I saw somebody in the cornfield. And she runs off, and Maria's like, wait, what are you doing? Don't go, don't leave. And Alex runs into the fucking cornfield and just sort of like is there for too long. And Maria's like, fuck, I gotta go find her. And she plays the worst prank. Come on, because that really sucks.
no, what was awesome is she doubles back, gets in the car, starts it, and
That's-
takes off.
That's what I'm saying. That's the prank right there. Then her friend has got, she even said, if you're fucking playing a prank or a joke on me, I'm fucking going to be pissed off. And that's a funny one. I would think it's funny if I was the one doing it. I wouldn't think it was funny if I was the one in the cornfield, but.
But you just go towards the house with the light.
Yeah, I guess so. But, it's foreign land, cornfields, you never know. It's not the place you really want to be stuck. So anyways,
You don't want to be stuck in a cornfield in Romania.
Yeah, she does the little prank, and then they get back in the car.
And they make their way to the farm,
make their
which
way to the
is
farm.
whatever 4 kilometers away, which is whoever knows how many miles. I don't know.
Kilometer. Well, you can't do...
Kilometer.
You can't do metric.
I don't know. Okay.
So...
So, in the farm, we meet Alex's family.
Yeah, they were been waiting up all day for them to show up.
And it's mom, it's dad, Tommy, the little brother, and Hendrix, the puppy.
Dog, yeah. It's not a puppy. He's a gigantic...
He just literally bark.
Yeah, it's not a puppy. It's a fucking full-grown Saint Bernard. It's a dog.
I used to want a Saint Bernard.
Yeah, because you watched Beethoven.
No.
Beethoven
I
Second?
hate that movie.
Really?
Yeah. I wanted a Saint Bernard because I saw Cliffhanger.
Still Sylvester Stallone movie?
I might be on a kick.
Well, that's funny.
That's why you don't ever wear gloves. No gloves.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
So they get to the house, and basically the mom by this time is already, she's not there. She's like in the room.
She's asleep.
She's asleep,
They
yeah.
get there pretty late.
But she did cook some food and do some stuff, and the father's there, and he's holding the baby boy, Tommy, whatever.
Tommy's like 6 or 7.
He was wearing his little cowboy outfit he didn't want to take off because he wanted to show, I guess it's his sister.
Yeah, that's really sweet. It's a really sweet family.
It's a big age difference, though.
Yeah, that might be his second wife.
Okay, maybe.
Or they did what my mom did and said, I guess. My sister's 11 years younger than me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, that's their introduction to the family, and they say their hellos, and then they're pretty much going to just kind of get settled in and go to bed.
Well, so what happens is Alex and Marie make their way to the kitchen because they are actually hungry, and the mother did leave them like a couple of plates of food.
Right.
So afterwards, Marie goes out for a smoke because she's French.
She loves her cigarette. Oh, that sounded funny. Cigarette. A little bit better. Oh. I don't know.
We can fix that in post.
Sorry.
And she goes out and to go smoke. And she goes out to the swing set that's outside on the family farm. And from the swing set, she can look into the house and watch Alex shower.
Oh yeah, that's where we see our looking for a word and I can't find it now. Mandatory boob flash in a horror movie. I wanted to say prerequisite, I guess. I don't know. It's a required thing. You got to have at least a couple boob shots.
Well, let me tell you, Alex
is not 17.
Let's say she's 17.
Let's say she's not.
No, they're in college.
Yes.
The Alex
Thank God.
looks good. Mm-hmm. But also you realize that's an impossible shot.
What do you
mean? For her to be able to look up from the swing to the second or third floor of a farmhouse and see from her navel up, that would mean that the shower was next to a floor-to-ceiling window.
Well,
which we know from looking at the farmhouse is not there.
I guess so.
That's an impossible shot.
What do you mean
that's
it's an impossible
important
shot?
For later.
Really?
Mm-hmm. How can you possibly see that?
I mean, she's in a window. We see it. What are you saying? It's an impossible shot? Like the angle's off?
Yes.
So, okay, whatever.
Okay. Anyway.
Boobs. That's all we needed to know.
It was still nice.
Yes.
And Marie happens to think so because she goes inside and up the stairs. And she proceeds to putting on her Walkman. Mm-hmm. Walkman.
Was it a Walkman?
Yes,
Was it
Walkman?
A tape player Walkman?
I think so.
Really?
And she proceeds to masturbate.
To reggae music.
To reggae music about stupid girls.
About stupid girls. You're just another girl. That's what the
I'm not. And so she's as she's masturbating, she's getting closer and closer to climax. And as she's getting closer and closer, we see that Jeepers Creepers truck
starts coming
closer and closer to the house. The closer, she's distracted. She's coming. She's coming. So is the fucking truck. The truck's coming. The truck's coming, and she finishes.
Yeah, at least she got her fucking rocks off.
At least she got hers, because let me tell you, sometimes it's not that fucking easy. And so, as she's finished, we hear Hendrix barking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's starting to bark.
Hendrix is barking like a mother sucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was even thinking, like, okay, is anybody gonna wake up? Finally, at least the dad gets up.
No, he presses the visitor.
Oh right,
presses the bell, and it's one of those
yeah
ringers.
Yeah,
not a ding dong. It's and the dad goes down to check, and Marie is looking out the window downstairs, and she sees the axe swinging back. The door opens, and you hear a right into the dad's head.
Yeah. Did she see it actually at that point in time?
We see it from her point of view, that she's looking down and sees an axe coming.
from outside. Yeah.
downstairs because she's looking
Oh, but
downstairs.
she's in the house. She's moved to like the top of the stairs now or whatever. That's where she sees it, right?
She's in her room.
Yeah.
She's looking out the window down to the front
All right.
porch.
Anyways, the little details I
Then why
never
are you
remember.
asking me?
Because I remember her being at the top of the stairs.
So when that happens, she's like, oh shit. And she goes into the top of, not to the top of the stairs, but because she's in the attic room, she can see down the entire 2 flights of stairs. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Okay. And at this point, the guy has burst in through the door. He kills the dog. And then he jams the dad's head into the banister, into the where the stairs are.
Mm-hmm.
And he decides that's not enough. So he gets the dresser and decapitates the dad with the dresser.
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, we get another good decapitation scene. Remember where we always say that there's not that many, and next thing you know, every single one we see happens to be a great decapitation scene.
Well, it was...
I bet you the one where he got the head that he was getting head from was also a great decapitation scene. We just didn't see that victim.
That's okay. I don't want to. That one looked brutal.
Yeah.
Like it looked torn.
Yeah, it did. So, now
so
we've got a headless dad.
The dad is dead.
The dad is dead.
The dad is dead. So we hear stirring upstairs and it's mom. And she's like, where are you?
Mhm.
Husband, whatever his name is. Husband. Daniel.
Yeah.
Daniel, where art thou?
And so she's
she
going
goes downstairs.
down. Yep.
She's going downstairs and she sees her husband's body. But you know what? She doesn't scream.
No, I know. And I felt that was weird too. Like,
But
where's the reaction? Where's the, let's...
She froze.
Right.
People freeze.
Okay. All right.
People freeze.
Yeah.
But what I saw was a really good trait is if I'm going to come across something that I'm not supposed to see, I don't want my natural reaction to be a scream. I want my natural reaction to be like, shut the fuck up, bitch, so you can go hide. Nobody knows you're here yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I actually, and I know you're going to hate me saying this because this is a tiny little detail, but I actually wrote down that it was scissors that he killed the dad with originally, because he also stabbed the dog with scissors. And he had it might have been that straight razor, but I don't know. I thought it was scissors, but who cares? I don't think it was an axe yet.
Well, whatever. He killed him.
Yes.
I don't get mad. I just sometimes that's happened and I don't know them all. I'm not always right.
I know, but I am. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. So the mom comes down. I put in my notes, I use voice text and I write, mother comes down, sees her husband, and it wrote Caesar, like Julius Caesar. Caesar, husband. So yeah,
So the mom comes down, sees her husband, like the salad, and she freezes. And I was like, and I really, like, going back to what I was saying, I really hope that if I came across something that I wasn't supposed to see, that I would be like, shh, 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 be quiet. They don't know you're here, kind of thing, as opposed to screaming and announcing where you are.
Yeah, I guess so.
However, didn't work out for her because the guy sees her and he proceeds to attack her. And we don't know. We just hear a... So I imagine it is a straight razor and he's slicing her up.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, I'm also wondering how the fuck Alex isn't, the other girl's not at least waking Alex up. You're a guest in her house.
She's all the way upstairs. Remember, she is in the attic.
No, she's... Right, but she could come... She's one level away from Alex's room, right? And I don't know. It's just, again, if I was...
What's Alex going to do?
I would wake everybody up if I was in the house. Let's all band together and kill this fucker.
In this scenario, nobody knows she's there.
Right.
She's not part of the family. So even if let's say that the killer was somebody who knew the family, they don't know that she's there. If they're going to kill this entire family, they're not going to think about going to go look for one more person that's not part of the family, who's just a visitor. So I think she played it correctly in this scenario.
Right. Well,
so Marie sees what happens to mom and she runs back up the stairs to her room, and she hides. She doesn't hide. She looks for the phone.
Looks for a phone.
There's a phone there. It's unplugged and it's not plugged into anything. So she's doing something really smart. She's like tracing the phone line to see where it goes.
Yeah.
And it's behind this massive, massive wardrobe, and she has to try to move it.
Yeah.
But then she realizes
It's
that the guy
not.
is coming up the stairs. She realizes the guy's coming up the stairs, so she puts it back, knowing she can't call, puts the phone back. She wipes down the sink because she had used the sink earlier, so it looks like nobody's been there. She
She
hides
makes
all
the
of her stuff.
bed.
She makes the bed, and
Yeah.
she hides.
Yeah.
He comes in. He comes in and he searches the place. He looks at the bed, it's still made. He looks that everything is still in its place. He touches the radiator because Marie specifically didn't turn it on. She said she would turn it on if she got cold.
Yeah.
And it's still off. So that means in theory nobody was in that room.
Yeah.
But he goes to the bathroom and sees that there's no water in the basin from the
But he
sink.
puts his
But
finger under.
he puts his
His
finger on the
finger.
faucet and there's a drop of water and
Yeah.
he's like,
Mhm.
somebody was fucking here. But he can't find anybody.
Yeah.
He looks behind the shower curtain. He looks under the bed. He like lifts the mattress up on one side. And then she doesn't see her there, so puts her down, puts the mattress down. And then as he's leaving, she kind of exhales and he comes back and flips the other side of the mattress. And inexplicably, motherfucker. He just can't find her.
Mhm. I also noticed in that particular scene, the music was very tense and it was getting louder and
okay,
louder and
so-
louder. Hence the name High Tension.
The music, like if you do not watch this movie without like full volume, like it's not the same thing. Your heart just, you're gonna have a heart attack. This movie really gets you in there. The music is scored perfectly to tie in with the scenes of the movie because you're like, oh my god, and you feel yourself kind of getting anxious, and then suddenly you're like clenching, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my god, and then
It's-
something, but then he doesn't find her, so you're like,
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's so fitting for the name High Tension because that's
Mhm.
exactly what they do with the music. They make it high tension music.
right.
So Alex again at this point in time is still sleeping.
Mhm.
She has fucking earplugs in. That's another thing I noticed too. And you see the earplugs when the guy comes into the room and is like,
Have you ever slept like at a farm in the remote area?
well, yeah, in some places I have, but
Okay,
I never
so
put earplugs in.
here's the thing. So my kids go to the ranch every now and again. And whenever we sleep over there, it's in such a remote area that you can literally hear the squishiness of
Everything.
yourself blinking,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you can hear yourself blinking, you can hear everything else and you're not going to get to sleep. So sometimes, for example, Grandma Martha, she wears earplugs to go to sleep because otherwise she's distracted. There's a cat, there's howling, there's whatever that's going on. Sometimes that's the only way you can get sleep. But Alex wakes up to the dude standing over her.
Yep.
And we haven't described this dude. This dude has got to be like, what, 6 foot tall? He's got to be like 200 pounds. He's this enormous dude.
He's not tall though. He's not Michael Myers tall. That's the one thing I didn't notice.
How tall do you think Michael Myers is?
Michael Myers is over 6 foot. Sure.
Over 6 foot. This
Yeah,
guy is.
But no, this guy's not 6 foot.
I don't know how tall he is. Everybody seems really tall. I'm only 5'2".
I know,
So
but
let's
he's
just
not
say
that tall. He's big.
tall-ish, but he's like a brute.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Like when you see him standing next to the dad, he's like shorter
What
than
if the
the dad.
dad's tall? What if the dad's tall?
Because he's either okay. Everybody could be super tall in this movie, maybe, but I'm just saying that
They're
that's one thing
European.
that and European people are not naturally very tall. They might be skinny and slender, but not tall.
Well,
necessarily.
this guy wasn't. This guy was bulky. He was stocky, and he looked like he was beefy.
Yeah,
And he
was
had a
thick.
fucked up face, and he was wearing coveralls.
Mhm.
So imagine this guy standing over you when you wake up, because that's how he wakes Alex up. He's caressing her skin. He's tousling her hair, and she wakes up, and he just goes, shh.
Mhm. Yeah.
And suddenly all Marie can hear is muffled screams, chains, and his grunts. So
Yeah.
does that mean that the grunting was him just chaining her up, or was he raping her?
No, I don't think she was getting raped. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I'm saying like it. Well, again, like if we go, so this is where I know we don't want to talk about the end yet and everything, the plot twist, but like if you look at it in those terms, then it's not like
Okay,
I don't
well, how
see
about
how
this?
that could have
Is this what
happened.
you're supposed to think? That that's what's happening?
Yeah, you're supposed to think that anything, the worst is happening. That's why they don't show it. Um, what's her name is still hiding under a bed at this point in
So
time or whatever.
Marie actually makes her way back downstairs.
Hmm.
And she gets downstairs and she's looking for a phone
Yeah,
because she's like, fuck, he's got Alex now. That's her
yeah,
friend. So she's
yeah,
looking for a phone and she finds
yeah.
one, but then she hears somebody coming. So she
Hmm.
hides inside the closet of this room.
Right. And why
And
they didn't have the other phone plugged in, I don't know. That's also
mm,
strange too. But
it
I
was
guess,
it's a guest room. Nobody really uses it.
yeah, I don't know.
So then um she hides in the closet and who is the person coming? It's the mom crawling on her arms and like as best she can, totally bleeding out, trying to get to the telephone as well.
Yeah,
And she gets to the phone and she hears a guy coming and she's trying to make her way to the closet where
where
Marie is
Maria's
hiding.
hiding now. Yeah,
But fortunately for Marie, unfortunately for the mom, she doesn't make it. She gets her neck sliced open and it's so brutal. Like it looks like when you cut Play-Doh and it's just
hmm,
like one of those clean cuts. Um, and she just dies staring because she can see Marie's eyes and she's looking straight at her right in her eyes.
yeah, yeah,
And then dude comes in and he just starts slicing her up and stabbing her or whatever it was he was doing. And blood is splattering all over the closet
yeah.
door.
I wrote in my notes, who the fuck were they gonna call? Ghostbusters? Actually, in the scene before she goes down in the closet, she's got the she goes to try to do the other phone again, and that's when she finds out that it's a fucking TV plug and not even a phone plug, and it's like, ah, fuck.
Right.
But yeah, like who are you gonna call?
Well,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
so
Ticka-ticka-da.
at this point, you hear some clamoring, and it's Tommy, the little brother. He is running around the house and finally makes his way out, screaming for his mom. And he's running towards the cornfield. And you see the killer running after him.
With a
At
shotgun.
with he's going after him, and then he goes to his car and grabs a shotgun.
Right.
And taking advantage of this opportunity, Marie goes herself and goes down to see Alex. And Alex
Chained
is
up and gagged now at this point in time.
chained up and gagged,
Yeah.
and she is sobbing uncontrollably.
Hmm.
And Marie tells her that she's going to help her, but she can't let and he can't know anyone else is in the house.
Yeah.
That's what she
Yeah.
tells her. And then thing you know, we hear a single shot, and you're like, oh my god, it's Tommy. And at this point, Alex loses her shit.
There's a second shot
And then there's a
afterwards.
second
Yeah.
shot and silence.
Yeah. Um, I have a question though. Go just backtrack with me for a little bit. Like, why the hell did the dad open the door like all the way? Like, why wouldn't you live in the sticks in the middle of nowhere? Somebody's ringing your doorbell. You don't have fucking neighbors.
They're
Like,
new.
what do you mean? Oh, well, that's even more of a reason. Then why open the door all the way then? Or like, why don't you just get some confirmation? Like, who is it? Can I help you?
It's
Like,
a serial killer. Do you think that's what's gonna happen? It's a mass murderer.
no, but like there was, don't they have, did they have double doors there or was it just
I
the
don't
one
know.
door?
I think that if they did, I think he cut through it. I think that's what the case
He
was.
did have some because he put his hand through to
Yeah.
open the thing. And what I'm saying is again, why open the door all the way? Go look through the fucking side window and see
He
who's
did it.
there. I don't
He
know.
did it.
I guess without that, we wouldn't have a movie going on. But
Well,
to me, logically speaking, after watching it for the second time now, like that's what I was saying. I was like, well, what the fuck did he open the door for? You're the dad. You're supposed to be the protector of the house. Don't fucking just open the door to random people when you live in the middle of the woods somewhere. Like, I don't know, whatever.
well, at this point, Marie leaves Alex and goes searching for a knife, anything that she can, because
Yeah.
Alex is being carried to the truck.
Yeah.
Right?
She also does, I think, find a phone, but the phone lines are now cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And as Marie is looking for a weapon of sorts in the kitchen, the man turns back and goes throws Alex into the back of the truck, and then goes back inside the house to do a final sweep and search.
Yeah, he kind of checks out the pictures
He checks
on
out the
the
pictures on the
fireplace and all that.
mantle.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
I don't think he sees the one with her in it, right? Because the picture that they zoomed in on, to me, I couldn't tell. Was
It
she
was
in
a
that
picture.
picture?
No, it was a picture. It was a picture of people, but specifically, he like zooms into Alex, and then he cuts
Cuts her head
her
off.
head off of the picture and takes it over.
Yep.
So, holy shit. Um,
Just to keep
but
for a scrapbook, you know?
but as he's doing that, Marie goes into the truck and tries to help her, but can't get her untied. And so she has that kitchen knife,
Hmm.
and she hears a guy coming, so she's like, I'm gonna kill him. And
Yeah,
she holds
yeah.
the knife over her head, waiting for him to come closer and closer, so that when he stands in front of the sliding door, she can stab the fuck out of him, right?
Hmm.
And so he comes closer, closer,
Yeah, just
slams it
close the door
shut.
and
Yeah.
locks it with a
And
padlock.
and locks it. She's fucked.
Yeah.
She's stuck inside there. She can't escape from there.
Yep.
So now Marie and Alex are in the back of the truck, trapped, and this guy is driving off with them. Can you imagine how terrifying that is? That you're in the back of somebody's truck, somebody who just slaughtered your family. What the fuck does he have in store for you?
Yeah, who knows? You know, of
Like,
course.
you survived for what?
Right. What's he gonna do with you?
It might be easier to have been just a victim and died.
That's true. Yeah. And who knows? Again, the worst might be awaiting you if he's keeping you alive, you know? But so, anyways, now he's got two victims in the back. He only knows
He's
about
aware of
one.
one,
Yeah.
and then in on his visor, there's all these
All these
pictures of
pictures
all
of
these
other
other
women.
girls, and
Yep.
he adds
Alex's
Alex's
face.
picture on
Yep.
there. But this is where Marie tries to console Alex and say, all those other girls were alone. We have each other. And that doesn't actually help her because, what the fuck are they going to do?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I also was thinking, and then she had that kind of long knife that she did get with her, and he had like a chicken wire fence thing that was like the covering the between the driver's seat,
So you're
whatever.
saying she should have stabbed him through the thing, because what if the car would have gone veering off and then they're trapped in the back of this car, unable to get out, and that won't necessarily kill him. The knife isn't that long, like it's not going to necessarily kill him.
Well,
It'll piss him off, and then he's aware that there's two people in the car. He has a gun with him.
so I guess what we're saying is that if I was in a horror movie, I'd
You
be the
would
first person
die.
dead.
You would get killed the fuck up.
T-shirt. Yeah. So, what? You don't like that? You don't like that little plug?
So they make their way to, the guy makes his way to a gas station where he goes to fill up.
Yeah. And
But
she
the whole
knows.
time that they're in the back, Marie, very resourcefully is trying to pick the lock and try to be able to kind of take the hinge off or something to pop the
to
lock
open
to
the
get
door.
out.
Yeah.
And she's successful because as he's pumping gas, she manages to open the door
Get out.
and get out.
Yeah.
And she tries to go and get help.
Yeah.
So she goes into the gas station little shop. And there we meet Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, she's trying to do it real quick, and she wants to do it while he's still pumping gas because she's trying to be real quiet. So she's moving along, and then all of a sudden, like, she hears the gas pump stop,
Click.
which means her time's limited. So she runs in, talks to the clerk real quick, saying, call the police, and she's like ducks down and hides. But
here comes the killer in.
He's got to pay for the gas, obviously.
Obviously he's an honest dude.
Yep. So he
knows
comes
there's
in,
a recession,
and he knows the guy though. He calls him by his first name. He's like, "Hey Jimmy, how's it going?" And at first I was like, "Oh shit!" So like maybe they're in
I
cahoots.
didn't catch that.
Oh, you didn't catch that?
Mm-mm.
He calls him Jimmy and talks to him as if he's seen him, knows him before. How's it going, Jimmy?
Yeah, he's asking for some J&B.
Then he changes his mind and he's like, "Well, actually, I don't want that J&B. I want that other stuff right there." And then Jimmy, but so also at this point in time, Jimmy is aware that something's
something's
going
up
on.
with this guy. This girl's huddled in the corner.
Yeah.
And then this girl, like so Marie is going in and out through the different aisles, trying to avoid detection.
Mm-hmm.
And the killer's there. He's trying on
Yeah.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
He's trying
Jimmy
to buy
sees some
beer.
blood on his hand and everything.
Yeah,
So
so
he's like,
Jimmy gets kind of scared.
yeah.
And so he has Jimmy go and get some alcohol from some other section. And he's talking to him. And then at some point, Jimmy turns around. And that's when he gets an axe to the chest.
Bam! Right to the chest.
Yeah.
Like a fucking giant axe. Which the reason why he got the axe there is because the store had
They
axes.
sold farming supply.
I guess. I don't know. But I guess if you live in the fucking
Romania.
sticks.
Well, France. It's France.
You know, whatever. So you could buy an axe at a gas station out there.
So Marie sees this and she freaks the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? At this point, she tries to make a break for it and goes the other way. And she goes towards the bathrooms. But unknowingly, the killer is also going that way and checking it out. And she hides and she hears him coming. And there's, again, this music because you're like, oh my God, he's going to find her. He's going to find her. And all he does is take a piss.
Yeah. So just, gotta go to the
so she
bathroom.
kind of feels relieved and she's like, okay.
Well, he checks all the women's bathroom first. Then he goes in the men's bathroom, and that's when he takes his piss. Mm. And she, smart enough, was hiding in the men's bathroom because I don't know if it was smart or not. Because technically, at this point in time, you can't assume that he knows that she's even exists, right? So she should have just went into the women's bathroom, but not really because he did check there first. But that's all I'm saying is that she went in the men's bathroom, she got lucky, he took his piss, and he left.
Okay. So as she's kind of relieved because he leaves.
Did you notice that they had a squatting shitter in the
squatty potty?
No, not a squatty potty. I'm talking about a hole in the floor like how people in Asia do it, like India and China and all.
I didn't notice that.
It's basically like
you just squat.
Porcelain hole that you don't sit on, you just squat down. But they did have one that you would sit on. It was funny. It was like they had two versions of it. Like, here's the one you can sit on. Here's the one you just squat on.
So I have a question.
Yeah. So
if you have one of those squatters, right?
Yeah.
And you're using that bathroom as an able-bodied person, if you are like in a wheelchair, how do you go?
Well, first of all, the reason, this is what I would say to you is that those countries that had those and still have them, they don't have a really good handicap accessible anything. So like if you're handicapped, you're tough shit.
That sucks.
Yeah, of course it sucks. But that's what I'm saying. There were two. So the other one maybe was the handicap stall because there was one you could sit on.
Maybe. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I didn't know they do that in France, by the way. Again, it's not
this
a
is
very
Romania,
European
technically, I think.
Well, whatever, you know.
Okay, so as she thinks she's okay, she starts drinking some water from the tap, which she does a lot.
Yeah, that's also a very like weird kind of like. First of all, we don't try to drink out of the tap water that much in this country anymore because everything's tainted. But like, yeah, she just turns it on, puts her head.
So she did that at the house a couple of times, and she did that at the gas station
of all
bathroom.
Places. Gross.
Okay, so she thinks she's okay, but then the truck starts and it leaves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's like, "Oh shit, my friend!"
And the truck takes off.
Yep. So she runs back out to the front and she
sees
finds
the truck leaving.
Yeah, she sees it leaving.
But then she
finds
calls
the gun.
She calls the police.
All right, okay. She calls
the police and she's like, the bastard is getting away. And she gets so pissed off at the cops because they're like, we need your location.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know where I am. We need your location. And she's like, you'd find me if I blew this fucking place up. And then hangs up the phone on the cops.
Mm-hmm. But
the cops know she's at a gas station, but they don't know which gas station. They know that the guy killed killed the family, and this girl's surviving in the back of the truck.
The bad guy's gone already by this time, right? Why don't you just tell the cops, hold on while I tell you?
She did.
Go run
she
outside.
Searched
but go run outside.
But she's also panicking.
I know.
She's panicking. Do you really think that you would react any differently?
Yeah, I do think
you
I
would like
react
to think so.
No.
We don't know until we're in that position.
All right. Well, let's go kill a few people and we'll find out.
I don't want to.
Okay,
I'm busy.
busy.
So then Pissed off, she grabs the gun that was behind the counter.
She takes the
She gets the
keys.
guy's car keys,
Mm-hmm.
and she gets into his Mustang
Mm-hmm.
of all cars,
Yeah, right. Where's the Mustang come
and
from?
takes off after the truck.
Yeah. She just was like, fuck it, I'm going to go catch my friend. So now she's driving fast as can be, trying to catch up to
Because
the
it's a
truck.
Mustang versus a jalopy.
Yeah.
She catches up to him, and so she's like right behind him. Well, she's tailing him, but at a discreet distance. And it's like a one-way highway, so it's not like it's super obvious that she's following him. It's just this is the road people take, right?
Yeah. Now, at this point in time,
he's fucking with her. He's fucking with Alex.
Yeah, he's drinking some liquor and he's pouring it on her, and then he's like takes a match and he's gonna like burn her alive. There's also the band Muse.
I know, that's what I wrote.
Playing in the background at that time.
French Muse was what I wrote.
No, it's it's their song. Like
really?
Yes, it's really their song. They use it twice. They use it later on in the movie as well too. There's only one guy who sings that like that and plays that kind of music, Matt Bellamy.
Okay. So so Marie catches up to him, and at some point he turns right into the woods, like into a road that's into the woods, and she does a smart thing. She passes him just a little bit until he goes down the road, and then she stops. She turns off her lights, reverses and follows him down the road. And I thought that was very smart.
That is very smart. But what proceeds is it had me not really feeling. I wrote down not feeling this scene. I didn't like the way it was written because there's a lot of problems that I have with this one. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
So she follows him and is able to avoid detection for a good long while. Now, this is a very long, slow speed chase. He's going down the road, and she's able to see him only by moonlight, only following the taillights. But interestingly enough, this actress was the one driving. Like, she did her own stunt driving for the most part.
Zoe Bell.
Well, kind of. Zoe Bell's kind of badass. She's like one of a kind.
Way more badass, yeah.
So I have problems with this scene too.
Yeah.
I found myself bored with this scene.
We're bored. I found it completely illogical. Can I tell you why I have an issue with it? Okay. First of all, we have to... So here's what happens. She's driving. She kind of loses him. And all of a sudden, he's behind her. And he's like ramming her car. Boom, boom. Doing the Jeepers Creepers shit. What?
Okay. So what if he did this? What if he drove and turned off the lights? Because you remember, she lost him, not because he turned off the lights, because she kind of like went and rubbed her eyes for a bit, and then suddenly he was gone. She didn't realize that he had turned off his lights. She rubbed her eyes and he was gone. We know he turned off his lights. But what if he turned off his lights and went down this secondary road and kind of like backed up into like behind some bushes, and then she just kept going, and then he came creeping out? It is possible.
Let me tell you why I have an issue with it, and this is why I don't understand how it makes sense. Because at this point in time, he doesn't even know that she exists yet. He did not know about her.
How do you not know somebody's following you when the only sound is supposed to be your own truck? How do you know that somebody's when the light of the moon is shining on everything? You think he's not going to look back and see the light of the moon is shining on his car behind him?
Yeah,
I don't remember putting that car behind. Not with the headlights off, down a road that you just passed and you know nobody was behind you.
There's other issues with this too, and let me just tell you, this is what's going on. She's going to go ahead and grab the gun, and she's going to want to try to shoot him. He's showing her, I got the bullets out of the gun, and you don't have the bullets, right? So that means... Even at the gas station, before we got to that point with the moon shining, he knew that she was in the back of the van and that she was inside the freaking the gas station, and he knew enough to take the bullets out of the gun, knowing that she would find the gun and take it and get the keys and follow him when he already made his getaway. That I don't buy. I don't buy for a fucking second. No, there's no way he got the fucking bullets already and assumed like this is all gonna happen. It's all gonna fall into play. Because again, panic, you say, right? So
what if it did?
Well, it did in the movie, but it makes no logical sense.
But what if it did?
It's a fantasy thing right now. This is
It's
just
a fucking movie.
well, I'm just saying, like
But
it's a
so check this
stretch.
out. This guy's a fucking psycho anyway, right? Yes or no?
Yeah, I get it, but
Okay.
it's just this
So
scene it really got me
if
out of it
he
now
gets
when I
his
watched it.
thrills by fucking around with women, why would he not get his thrills by fucking with the woman so bad that she thinks that she can get away?
Yeah, because the thing is, like I said, he took off. Like he had no idea. Like, oh, well, let's see, she's gonna be smart enough to get the keys and get the gun. Like, what if she just took the fucking car and didn't even see the gun? What if she didn't even know and she was
Okay,
panicking and she
so
stayed there?
then what's the harm as the killer? I would have been like, she doesn't know where I'm going. She doesn't know what my car is. She doesn't know who I
I
am.
just
She
still
doesn't
don't
know my
buy it. I
face.
don't buy it. I think that that's kind of a bullshit thing. They tried to make it. They wrote it in a way thinking it would make for good movie making, and it's just to me, it's dumb. Now all of a sudden,
It's a movie.
I gotcha, but it doesn't make any sense to me. He's behind her. He's ramming her. He's got the fucking bullets. Now she's fucking,
All
and
right,
then she
so
fucking drives the car off the road. It's not like he rams her off the road or anything like that. She's just drives off
because
the
she's
road and
driving with no
flips.
headlights, he has no idea where she's going. So she does. She drives off the road. The car flips over and it catches on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She is injured, but is able to get out of the car.
Yep. And she finds that she's near some sort of a greenhouse.
She runs. She runs towards anything right now at this point. And she finds herself like in the middle of this greenhouse. Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. She's very badly cut too
And
at this point in time.
there's this cat and mouse chase going on. He's Michael Myersing towards her, and very slowly but deliberately, and she's running, and he's like,
Yeah.
but
she's badly cut too.
she's badly
had
cut,
to,
but she's also
wrap her
fucking
wounds up.
badass because there is barbed wire around this greenhouse, and what she does is she gets one of those posts and wraps the rest of the barbed wire. She has herself a weapon.
Yeah.
Right? And so she sees off in the distance, she sees his flashlight because he's coming after her with a flashlight. He can't see in the dark. And so she sees the flashlight is still that way, and she approaches it, and she's with her barbed wire bat, with her club, and she's approaching the flashlight because she was going to surprise attack him.
But he was smarter than her. Sorry, go ahead, tell it.
You tell it.
No, I want to hear you say it.
He was smarter than her.
Yeah, he was.
So what he does is he attacks her from behind, and then they get into this tussle, and turns out that flashlight, he had it hanging from like a tree, and that's distracted her enough so that she was able to go that way, and he was able to come behind her.
And he plastic bags her ass. He fucking gets her from behind and starts suffocating the shit out of her. And now she's fucking choking, and she's he's got her on the ground and shit.
And this is where it gets creepy.
Yeah, he taunts her by like sticking his fingers in his mouth.
Aziz Ansari's her.
Aziz Ansari. You gotta like lay off that guy, man. It's unfortunate that he's gonna be known for that shit the rest of his life.
Okay, but it's funny.
It's funny, and he's a comedian, so he's got to learn to take that shit.
He tells her as he's fingering her mouth, and I mean her bloody mouth with his bloody fingers. Yeah. He's saying, tasty. What do you want from Alex? Does she turn you on?
Because she turns me on.
She turns me on too. And she's like trying to fight him. She has his hands like in her throat. Yeah, and she finds a rock and she bashes him on the head. And it was a very realistic bash to the head because it's not like bash to the head, oh, and he falls to the ground. It's bash to the head and immediate like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah. You can kind of feel that what was happening. You kind of felt it somewhat realistically.
Then she gets up and beats the shit out of him with this barbed wire club that she made. Yeah. And that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. She like fucks him up. And then she pulls back because at this point, like he fell into the plastic that he was choking her with, and it's on top of his head. And so she pulls it up closely and she puts her ear down to listen for breath. Doesn't hear it and wraps it back up, but then he fucking gets her like in a chokehold. And what does she do? She puts all her force and all her energy down and has the plastic over his face. Yeah. and he dies.
Well, I knew that was I knew that he wasn't going to be dead at that point in time. That was pretty obvious from most horror movie standpoints. The killer's always going to come back for one more little attempt. But yes, she suffocates the shit out of him now.
But back at the gas station.
He's also choking her too at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like a fight to the death. And then she fucking...
Yeah, but when your force of your whole body weight is going onto his face, that's going to beat it out. But back at the gas station,
right,
the police, prompted by her call, are searching all the gas stations in the area.
Yeah.
And they find the dead clerk. And then they're reviewing the video. And then we see the security footage.
Yep.
And we see Jimmy with his back towards somebody.
Yeah.
And he is pulling
some liquor out of the
cabinet. Yeah. And he turns around and Marie fucking gets him with the axe. Yep. And she's the one that killed him.
Right. Plot
She's
twist.
She's the one that kills
Plot
Jimmy.
Twist.
Holy fuck.
So it's
what
her
happened?
The whole fucking time.
It's her the whole fucking time.
Now,
back at the truck, though, it's daylight. She has the killer's keys. Or, in this case, she has her own keys. Because now we realize she's the killer.
Yep. And she's fucking psycho.
She's happy to see Alex after she's in the back of the truck. She frees her. And Alex holds her up with a knife.
Yeah. The knife that she gave her earlier on.
And
she's like, get the fuck away from me. You're crazy. You're
you
fucking
murdered
crazy.
My family. Yeah. Is what she keeps saying over and over again. You murdered my family. And she stabs Marie. And Marie becomes him.
Yeah.
And begins to chase Alex.
Yeah.
Because she's no longer Marie. She's the killer again.
Now. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's the dude chasing her down through the woods.
Yeah. Well, he gets his trusty fucking giant cement fucking cutter out first. That's the tool that they use to cut into the sidewalk to get down to like where they bury pipelines. I thought
it was like a counter. Like when you cut counter pieces or something, but I guess it's the same thing.
No, it could be the same thing, yeah. But that one particularly, I've seen them use when they're like cutting into sidewalks and pavement and shit like that.
So she's chasing him like with a fake Texas chainsaw.
Yeah. They're like, we're going to do Texas chainsaw, but let's make it like really. Crazier. Like, what's the bigger chainsaw that we can get? And they're like, I know, the cement cutter.
But it's crazy because you see glimpses of the killer holding it and chasing her, and then it's Marie doing it, and when Marie does it, she looks kind of hot, let me tell you. And so she's chasing, but you know how in the beginning of the movie it was the dream and Marie was the one running away? In this case, it was the same scenario, same scene, same everything, but it was Alex running.
Alex, yeah.
And Alex makes it to this road, and she flags down this car.
Yeah,
and the
poor
car
innocent guy
goes off into the side of the road, and she's like, help me. She gets in his car. The car won't start. Here comes the killer as the killer.
Yeah.
Here comes the killer, and he gets on top of the car.
Boom.
And
he goes right through the windshield.
Kills that poor guy.
Chops his whole face and everything.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere. And you see Alex screaming in the back seat, just screaming. And as she's screaming, blood is coming, hitting her face and in her mouth and everything. That blood, there was so much blood in that scene that the next time that car was used for another movie, there was blood still dripping from it.
To use the same car in another movie?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, recycling props over there in France, I guess.
That's cost effective.
Sure. Okay.
So, but at this point, Marie is still the killer. She's like trying to get at Alex. Alex escapes by grabbing a crowbar and going out the window, kind of like breaking around and crawling out. But so she's crawling down the road because she gets this big shard of glass in her ankle.
Yeah, right by her Achilles tendon.
Yeah, close, but no cigar.
But either way, she can't run now. She can't. She's just like pushing her way. She's
crawling herself along. But she has that crowbar, and she's kind of trying to hide it, but she's moving away. And when she pulls that glass out of her foot, oh my God, I cringed so much. And so at this point, it's switching back and forth with Marie and the killer again. And she tells her, you drive a woman crazy, you little slut.
Yeah.
And she keeps, and then slut is the word that Marie has been using towards Alex the entire time.
Yeah.
Because Alex was with some guy. Alex was, dating. Alex was this. Alex was that. She keeps calling her a slut. In this case, she keeps calling her a slut.
She asks Alex if she loves her too, I think,
Yeah,
right?
and Alex is screaming, "I love you. I
Yeah.
do. I love you. I
And
love you. Yes, I love
she
you." And she goes and
she
she
goes in for a
kneels
kiss.
down and she starts kissing her and kissing her. And suddenly Alex drives that crowbar into her chest.
Yeah. Was it the crowbar or a knife? I don't know. But
It was the end of the crowbar.
Okay.
Right? Not the curved end, but the
other
pointy end, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
And so we're back at the very first scene, the opening of the movie.
With the feet.
With the dirty ass feet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we do see the Marie's back, and that is there's cuts, but there's also staples because they had to staple her closed, I guess. And that's from the wound, because that crowbar went all the way through her chest cavity, came out through the back. And she's repeating the lines, "I won't let anyone come between us anymore."
Yeah.
And she's repeating it. And then we see from a what is it, a one-way mirror, Alex is on the other side.
Yeah, she's like, "Can she see me?"
Yeah, she says, "Can you see me?" And that's when Marie does this.
Yeah, like, and lunges at the fucking thing, and we end with Muse playing a wonderful rock and roll track. It's fucking great.
And that's the movie.
Yeah, that was the movie.
So what the fuck happened?
Well, see, again, like now, since we've revealed the plot twist and we want to go back, there's a lot of things that I feel like when you know that she's the same person, then the way they depict it is she's in two different places at the same point in time, like in different areas. And that doesn't make any sense to me because, like, who was at the front door if she was upstairs? So technically maybe she never was upstairs, that she was outside.
Remember, she was outside.
But then where did the truck come from? Because she clearly was driving with
so check this out.
Marie.
One thing.
I mean, with Alex.
One thing at a time. The masturbation and the head.
Yeah, that right there. What's all that about?
My theory, well, I don't know if maybe it's somebody else's theory too, but just from watching this, I'm thinking that is just some past kind of craziness that she's probably gone through. And the truck isn't actually the truck. The truck can just be a truck on the farm. The truck could be any old, dilapidated, side of the road kind of truck. It could be something that is just used on that specific land. It could be the family's truck. We don't know that.
But so is she okay? So are you telling me that she killed another woman and she was giving herself head with another woman's head?
What I'm saying is maybe she has this sinister like monster inside of her and it's playing out like in her subconscious, and because of all of this sexual tension that and sexual like release that she's needing, maybe that is the catalyst to why she snaps. So there's this monster inside of her and it's like it's rearing its ugly head slowly and she may not be completely aware of it, but it's all very much tied to sexuality. Right. And so she's obviously a lesbian and she hasn't even come out to her closest friend, Alex. That means that all of that is just being repressed so much that it became something monstrous.
So, but she hasn't arrived at the farmhouse yet, but yet technically
it could be it's just a metaphor.
All right, yeah.
It doesn't have to be. Like,
who was the victim then? It was just not
it
a
was
real
very
person
similar
then, right?
to Alex. It could have just been her desires.
But again, so in all these other things that are happening.
Okay, so let's go to the next one. So the next one is she was outside, right? Right. The dad opened the door. Do you remember when the girls were eating their food and they were and what's her name? Marie was going outside for a cigarette. We then cut to a scene where her dad is locking up, unaware that she's outside. But we see that he's turning off the lights, locking the doors, whatever. So how can she get back inside if he's locked up? It makes sense that she would have to ring the doorbell to get let in, which could be why he opened the door all the way because, let me open the door. It's my daughter's friend. She got locked out.
Yeah, that I didn't catch. I don't remember the dad locking everything up, but you're probably right. And that makes sense that he was opening the door for her. And that was why But again, we're seeing like her viewpoint, so we're supposed to assume that she wasn't,
So
you know.
I believe. Okay, so now I believe the fact of the matter is, all of the Marie point of views are false, right? She is outside looking in at her own monster. So everything that we see the monster doing is what she's actually doing. She's just not aware that it's her doing it.
Mhm.
So the she gets let in. That's why everybody was calm enough to be able to let her in the house. That's why the dad was like, "Oh, let me go over there." That's why all of this happened, was because she was just her daughter's she was just his daughter's friend.
Right. So again, when it comes to the truck and driving off and her putting
So
Alex in the truck, we're assuming that she was not in the back of the truck and she didn't like ever like stow away and all that. And
correct.
that when they were at the gas station, that she was the one pumping the gas and not running into the attendant. But then
Correct.
how does the attendant clearly look at her and acknowledge her, right?
Mhm.
But then she would then later come in as the man, and then
So
he knows the guy's name.
why why isn't it this then? Why isn't it okay? She walks in and is a panicked girl, then suddenly she morphs into this other personality. I don't think it's a personality thing. I think it's just she's just
But
I don't know what the
then
diagnosis would be, but what
right.
if it's just her kind of spazzing out in front of him and he's like, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to handle this.
But
And yeah, he may have called him a name, like by his name, but we don't know that that's his name. We don't know that it's not, just maybe a name that she may have shared with him.
they
Maybe
have like
it's
small talk though. They have
no,
like some sort.
but if you actually pay attention to the small talk, it's very basic. The killer asks him, "How many women come in here?" Fancy women. Just very, not specific, not indicating that there's an established relationship. It's very much just a conversation of shooting the shit. So it's not like you can automatically say, "Oh, they know each other. Look at the report." It's, "Oh, they're making small talk." In fact, I wrote it down as
But
bullshit
okay,
small talk.
all right, but let's move on. There's two vehicles that are driving. So now, if she's really in the truck with Alex driving down the road,
How do
how
we
the
know
fuck
that?
do you can see there's a yellow car there and it drives and it crashes, and
But we don't
so
know
we're
that.
saying that that's just all a figment of someone's
Yes.
imagination.
Yes. If there was a car in the middle of the woods that caught fire, the woods would have caught fire. There would have been smoke. There would have been something other than suddenly it's quiet and dark and nobody knows anything. We don't see that there's a fire anywhere. We don't see any of that. How could she miraculously be able to survive that?
Yeah, I mean,
I, and
I kind of hear you, but I
And
mean, again, like
she's
I'm
not
just
exactly super injured when that happens, which she should have been. She wasn't injured. If anything, she was covered in blood, but who's to say that that was her blood?
no, she looks pretty gashed up and cut open and all that. And now then the scenes where she's fighting herself and killing herself, is she doing like um it's like you ever seen that movie where Jim Carrey beats himself up?
Liar, liar.
Liar Liar, yeah. Is that what
Maybe,
she's doing? Like, I don't know.
maybe,
Like
or
to me it's
maybe,
just
or
like
maybe it's all just she's fighting herself mentally. Maybe it's all here. Maybe the battle. She's like, maybe she's just so conflicted. She doesn't know what to do. Maybe it's all just internal. So what ends up being real is she's covered in blood. She may be injured for having run through the woods barefoot and by herself, right? She's chasing after her friend. Um, like she doesn't have that many injuries.
all right, well, I'm just saying like I'm looking at it and I don't know, there was some things that didn't make a logical sense to me. I understand it's a movie and that this is like a split personality duality
I don't
thing
think it's a
going
split
on.
personality thing. I just think it's a I hesitate to call it a split personality thing. Like what's that other movie that had the split personality thing? I'm just really hesitant to make it that.
Well, we talked about Martyrs in the beginning of this,
Hmm.
right? Martyrs does a sort of a little bit of the same thing, but then their twist keeps moving forward. But when you see it, you see that the person is physically doing damage to themselves, even though in her view, it's another entity that's doing the damage to
So
her.
maybe this is what it is. Maybe that's what it is. But I understand how it it escalates to that based on what she started off with.
Sure. I mean, again, I still enjoyed the movie. I liked it.
Good.
I do feel that, you come back around full circle and then there's a lot of questions to be asked. And I get it. The whole thing is they wanted to keep you guessing all the way to the end.
Hmm.
And they did. Like, because I watched it the first time, I forgot about it and I didn't know. And at one point in time in my notes, I said, what the fuck is the motive? Why is this killer doing any of this? But after you find out it's her, you realize that she's fucking psycho, number one. And number two, she does have feelings for her friend who doesn't, again, like, she's torn between this like lesbian relationship, yet she doesn't want to be a slut and she doesn't want to have. What I mean by that is that she probably had feelings for her friend Alex, but her friend Alex was interested in this other person, and then she makes it
Alex
seem
was
like,
straight, and
yeah,
she's never come out to Alex because
right,
Alex constantly tells her, when are you going to have a boyfriend,
right, and
kind of thing.
she tells Alex, "You're the slut, not me." But in
Hmm.
reality, was fucking masturbating to
But
Alex in
she
the
wasn't,
bathtub.
because she was outside.
Well, that's another thing then. Then who the hell was masturbating? When was she masturbating? Was she doing it outside or it never happened? That's what you're telling me? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it makes for good movie, I guess, but I'm just I like it. It
Because
just
check this out.
doesn't make sense to me anymore.
If, okay, when the killer goes to the room, everything is the way that Marie left it before she went outside for a cigarette.
Because she made the bed and she did all that, and so it was all
Right.
back to normal again.
Back to normal again, but it was exactly how she left it. She didn't make the bed and
All
everything.
right. Well, you said earlier when the mom was being killed that she locks eyes with her in the
Right.
closet, right? But
Because maybe in the real killing of the mother, maybe what happens is the mother was looking at her as she was slicing her,
mhm.
right? Because she didn't just slit her throat. She then, the killer then went on top of her and started cutting her repeatedly. That's why there's blood splattered everywhere. So maybe the mother was looking at her eyes as that was happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I love how you're defending the movie. I know it's one of your favorites and all that. And it's a great movie. It's a great movie. But I just this is the way I felt about it. I can't hold it
I'm
in.
not
It's
telling you
like
not to think that. I'm just trying to give you an explanation. You're wondering why, and I think I might have the answer. I may not be right, but my mind goes this way, and I'm trying to share that with you to see if it makes sense to you in that way as well. You don't
yeah,
have to agree with me. I'm just sharing my viewpoint.
it doesn't make that much sense to me. But I'm willing to buy it for sake of good cinema.
Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. I do think that Martyrs did a little bit of a better job at
Well,
using that same type of theme.
Martyr had this whole other aspect
Right,
to
it
it.
keeps going on after that
This
plot
one
twist.
stopped at this plot twist.
Hmm.
Martyrs went there and then fucking kept getting crazier and
Yeah.
crazier.
Well, spoiler alert, you don't know that. At that point in time, if you're watching Martyrs the first time, you think you're at the end of the movie. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, this is only that midway point. Now we're going to get into some more brutal shit.
Martyrs is
Mine's now. Just kidding.
Martyrs is mine's now.
No, what I liked about it is I thought Martyrs took like 3 different types of horror movies and mashed them all into one. They had like the ghostly
Mhm.
aspect of it. Then they turned it into like the kind of brutal torture,
Hostelesque
hostelesque kind of aspect, and then they had the whole,
cult.
cult thing and a major plot twist at the end and everything. But yeah, either way, High Tension was good. Do watch it with the original French.
Don't watch the dubbed
yeah,
version.
don't watch the dub version.
Don't watch the dub version. Make sure you have the sound on. Make sure you're in the dark.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Yeah, great movie. Anything else you want to say about it?
No, I thought it was really good. I
Okay.
really enjoyed it, and even though the ending is forever ruined for me because I know the ending, it is really nice to go back and be like, I didn't catch that the first time. I didn't
Yeah.
catch that the first time.
Right. Yeah.
So it is definitely one that you can watch over and over again, but understanding that you know where the movie goes, you're gonna get, you're gonna feel the high tension in different ways.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, this was a pretty long episode as well, too. So maybe we should wrap it up pretty soon. You want to go through
All right.
our closing credits and all that?
All right. Well, that's all for us today. Thanks so much for coming to the ice cream parlor.
Yes, definitely.
All right. So if you haven't done so, please subscribe to either our YouTube channel
Yes.
or to our podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Or both. All
Or
of them.
everywhere.
Yeah. Just subscribe on all of them. Do Spotify, do Apple iTunes, whatever. Who cares? Just
Download
do them all,
everything.
right? Do them all, right?
But give us a rating on Apple iTunes if you Apple Podcast if you can.
Yes.
We are on social media. We'll have I don't know where our handles are.
Oh, so we've got the underscores in the Instagram one. It's at _scream_parlor on Instagram. If you're checking this out on Facebook, it's at Ice Cream Parlor Podcast on Facebook. And Twitter is just Ice Cream Parlor or Ice Cream Podcast. It's confusing. We couldn't get them all the same,
here we go.
unfortunately. But, you know. And if the YouTube channel, we don't have like an actual thing, so it's just search Ice Cream Parlor Podcast on YouTube.
Okay, so check this out. We also have our website, icecreampodcast.com. You go there, you can find everything we have. Also subscribe to our newsletter because that's where we will be sending information as to what we're doing the next month. We have some pretty exciting guests coming up. We just have to schedule them because we get busy. And that's it.
Yeah, I remember the song, that the Muse song is called Newborn.
All right.
Yeah, it's the name of the Muse song. So if you like Muse, go check it out. It's a good song.
And if you like Jack and the Swamp Rats, go check them out too. Like, I posted something about them, so I'm hoping people got a chance to listen to them.
I know you would like them because they had this man as the drummer and this man as the singer. And then they had a mummy and a wolf man. So it was all of your classic horror icons twisted up into one. I think the only thing you didn't like about it is their weirdo mad scientist that they called Igor.
Yeah, his name's not Igor. Okay, so the song I really liked, there was a lot. Like I Want You Dead.
I Want You Dead. I knew that was going to be the one you liked. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were pretty rad.
Yeah, they had a good vibe. I good vibe to them. It was cool. Energetic, very good performance live. Anyways, yeah, check them out. Check out, I don't know, anything we mentioned before, whatever.
Also, I will be posting our Patreon page so that, look,
we're still trying. We just talked
about fucking somebody through their throat hole after they've been decapitated. I don't think we're gonna get a lot of sponsors now, but if you want to donate to us and help us out a little bit, check out our Patreon page.
Yeah, we like to try to keep this thing free for
I don't want
to
try to sell you guys mattresses and underwear, but I would like to have the ability to do more of these episodes.
Hey, well, if the mattresses and underwear come, asking for us to promote them for money, I'm down with that. There's other ones out there too.
I just wondered if you can fuck somebody through their throat hole.
Yeah, I get it. There's, we're not the raunchiest podcast in the world. That's fucking lots of are out there.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
So that's it for today.
Yeah, great episode. Good to see you again. Thank you for...
You're welcome for being...
Yeah, thank you for listening to my take on this movie, because I know you don't necessarily agree with everything I say, but it's fun.
That's okay. That's my job.
It's fun to go back and forth with you on that. Anything else you want to say before we close this one out?
Nope. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving all. Stuff yourselves full. Have a safe and wonderful holiday.
Absolutely. Okay, bye.